In the equity market, the Dow Jones was kind of the biggest story. There wasn't huge moves overall in terms of percentage change in really any of the indices, but the Dow and the Russell did lead. The Dow, however, got its first daily close ever above 29,000. It has spiked up above 29,000 a couple of days now, but we did get a new all-time high and a new all-time close in the same day above 29,000 for the first time. That's on the heels of some pretty good numbers out of Bank of America, but overall the stock fell because the market whisper number that was going around based off of the strength that we got in JP Morgan and Citi expected Bank of America to beat by more than they did. So it actually pushed that particular stock a little bit lower. The Dow survived though, again getting that close above 29,000. Record highs in the NASDAQ, S&P, and the Dow in terms of their high print for the day. All three reached records. The phase one trade deal got signed today. Attention now turns to phase two, not necessarily the negotiation of a phase two trade deal, but the negotiations on the tariffs of phase two. Both the Chinese administration and the US administration talked about the removal of some of the tariffs as they go into phase two. So I would assume, hasn't been said, but I would assume that as the discussions progress in a positive way, the U.S. would start making more overtures in terms of when they would reduce some of those tariffs. We haven't heard any of that yet. The only thing we've heard positive that pushed the markets higher earlier this morning was Chief Economic Advisor to the President, Larry Kudlow, discussing Tax Cuts 2.0 that he was going to be working on. It really has nothing to do with the trade deal, but those phase two tariffs getting removed would really would have a good effect on the market. I don't really know what it would do exactly, but overall it would be viewed as a positive. And as that discussion came out during the phase one signing, the Dow got a little bit more of a move until it sold off later in the day, taking back a decent amount of those gains. Still, as I mentioned though, closing above 29,000. And the pressure you got to the upside from the Dow, defensive sectors led. Now, what does that mean? Well, defensive sectors usually are when the market wants to be in stocks, but doesn't want to go into the momentums and the high flyers, like the technology stocks and biotechs, things like that. So the defensive sectors led most of the day, especially in toward the close. You had utilities up almost 1.5%, real estate up almost 0.75%, consumer staples up 60 basis points, so more than 0.5%, and material stocks up about 0.5%. Healthcare in there as well, up 82 basis points, so more than 0.75%. So a lot of the sectors that were well represented in the Dow were the ones that led overall today. Financials pulled back a little bit, which has a decent representation in the Dow, but a little bit more in the S&P, why the S&P ended up underperforming the Dow on the day. Tomorrow we've got Morgan Stanley, so there's more banking earnings coming out, but overall Dow the big winner today, up above 29,000 at the close for the first time ever.